this thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick it. Everything is going down. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony.
What it do? What it do? What it do? This is comedian Roy Anthony. Once again, welcome to the Roy Anthony Show with my co-host, Miss Cristina Carter, aka Miss Uniqueness. She had some type of technical difficulty. She was just in, and she had to fade out. Thank you. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. This is based upon the Woe Entertainment, which is created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, and co-creator Goose, along with our social producers, Blue Phoenix, and our main man, Ethan. Everybody knows that on the Roy Anthony Show, we like tackling into certain subjects that other people don't like to delve into. And as you know, that I am a person in our group, we like to research, we like to bring in the right people, especially when we talk on any subjects. Everything that we talk about is not always comedy. Some things that we have faced has been, this is daily life, that we have a lot of tragedies and horrific situations that occur. I have, let me bring our co-host in. How you doing, Miss Uniqueness?
I'm all right. How y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. I know you had one of those weekends where you was burying a lot of your family members, I understand. Dealing with that, what we call that new edition. They flag us when we get to talking about, some of the diseases that's going on in America. We're supposed to act like we don't see it. And then, so today's show, we're talking to some of the mothers that, as we know, we was hinting on it Thursday, this past Thursday. Today is September the 7th of 2021. And we was fortunate enough with their busy schedules that we are having one of the mothers from the victims. Her son was murdered. Well, it's supposed to have been a claim murdered, or we can't say it that he was murdered, but he died by the hands of the police. And she works along with Elijah McCain's family. And so we have a guest that's coming in today where, sometimes we on the outside, we hear these stories, but it's never really where we can actually meet the mothers. And it's kind of a hard situation, but we pride ourselves in understanding, want to hear directly from I hate to say horse's mouth, but we want to hear directly from a person who went through it. One of the things that actually gets to me is when we have other people trying to speak for somebody if they aren't the ones who've been through that. That's why I was talking to some fellas the other day that men can't speak about what a woman is going through if she's been raped or not.
That's true.
There are certain subjects that we can probably try to find words to sympathize, but sometimes you just got to be quiet and hear it from the person who's actually who's going through the situations. And this is why it's such an honor to have this lady in as a guest. She's Matter of fact, she's at another function, and I want to bring her on in without any hesitation. I want to bring who we're bringing to the show today is Miss Lynette Fox. Now, this is the mother of Jesse Cedillo, who was allegedly died by the hands of the Colorado Police Department. And she's also an organizer of peaceful protests and vigils. She's held vigils for Elijah McClain, and it's an honor to have her on. And I want to, without further ado, because I know that her time was limited, I want to bring in Miss Lynette Fox.
Hello.
How you doing, Miss Lynette?
Thanks
Hello,
for
how you
having
doing?
me on the show. Hi.
Hello. Miss Uniqueness, this is Miss Lynette Fox. Miss Lynette Fox
I'm
is
Genius.
Nice to meet you.
yes. Now, why don't you give us, a testimony, your name, just how we always tell people, giving your name, a testimony, the reason why you're here on the show and what you were working to get obtain.
Okay. My name is Lynette Fox. My son Jesse Cedillo, it's pronounced Cedillo.
Okay.
He
Yes.
was killed by Pueblo County Sheriff's Deputy Jeffrey Alfonso on March 14th, 2020. It was put on video before we even knew it was him and played all over Facebook. A neighbor had taken a video. Thank God he took the video, but he didn't feel safe with keeping it. So he gave it to somebody in the news, and they took advantage of him and put it on the news, and then kind of like blocked my son out. And the police narrative is that my son was charging at him with a gun. So they shot him. The cop unloaded his clip, 15 shots. 5 of them hit my son. When my son was going, my son came out with his hands up. He said, show me your hands. And my son's hands were up, and he didn't even give him time. He started shooting before he had even finished saying it. The video, you could see him methodically walk up. He's no cover. He was a distance away, and he methodically shot my son. And it happened in seconds, but still, he methodically shot him till he got to him. And then other cops came up. They then decided to handcuff him. He was dying. They called him names. They said, "Good shot, Jeff. Good shot." Jeff called him a mother effer about 3 times. I mean, he allegedly has stolen a car, and at a youth center with the lady in the car, he allegedly had a gun. Well, it turns out now after I investigated my own son's case, because you can't trust the police too. And that's what I'm actually fighting for more than anything, is that the police should not be policing themselves. The DAs, the cops, the police, sheriffs, they work together every single day. Every day. So, I mean, of course they're going to side with each other because they work with each other. A DA can't say, okay, I'm going to charge all these cops because I know what they did, and then expect that the police are going to work with them every day. So I've been working, actually, the families of over 300 people killed by police in the last decade or two. We all got together and we've been working together because we want to change the system, and that is that police should not police themselves, and that they need to reopen every single case, because it's not fair that they got to police themselves. They need to reinvestigate. They need to charge the killer cops, and they need to jail them. And, personally, if they did my son's case and they found him justified, if they reopened it and it was an independent person who did it, I could live with that. But I know for a fact that there has been fabrication of evidence. It's just kind of crazy. It's almost unreal to listen to and it's not just my story. It's so many families of police murder that we have told that we have to live with. And it seems unreal because you don't think that police would do that and fabricate evidence. They planted a gun at my son's scene, and they only planted it after they saw that we were fighting them. We are the only people in our town who have ever fought police. We're a small town of only 100,000 people. That's small. And we have had 38 police murders since 2013. That is way too much for a size,
Yes.
town this size.
What city and state are you in, Miss Fox?
Pueblo, Colorado.
Okay.
And, I started advocating. I mean, the second that I found out that what happened to my boy, because I had already been an advocate for police brutality. I hadn't set up like rallies and things like that. I was more of a writer, and I had wrote pieces on police brutality. A friend of mine's sons were beat up by Salt Lake City Bike Patrol back 10 years ago, and I wrote on that. I had saw Kelly Thomas's case in California, and it broke my heart, and I wrote on that. I wrote on Mike Brown. I wrote on Eric Garner. I wrote on the cause. And to have it happen to you, you never think that it's going to happen to you.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, I've said this before. We was talking about last week. When you having these deaths by the police officers, and I'm having a discussion with somebody that they were saying, well, blacks and Latinos died more from each other's hands than from the police. So I said that may be true, except when Junior shoots Leroy. Junior's been investigated for. He is not, he is considered armed and dangerous. And they're trying to find him. But they had them shows like 48 hours. But when the police do it, it seems like there's not a consciousness about a life was taken. Then I be wanting to question these people like, who did you think you were stopping? El Chapo?
No, exactly.
Who are you stopping? You ever seen the movie SWAT? And they actually stopped this international terrorist guy. I'm like, who do you think's going to stop? If I did something, the last thing I'm going to do is stop for the police. If I think there's warrant for me, who's actually stopped?
Especially as a black or brown person, or a native, because even our indigenous brothers, they are targeted at even a worse rate than we are. So you look at that, and if you are indigenous, black, or brown, you are not going to stop for the police because it's been embedded that they're going to kill you. So you're going to try to get away. And people will say, well, why don't they just listen, do what the cops say? Hey, it doesn't just happen like that. And in our movement, we have a lot of people who are of Caucasian descent as well. I'm thinking that a lot of it is not so much about race as it is more about it's about poor white. If you're a poor white person, if you're not a rich, now it's different because you could be rich or poor and be black or brown or native, and they will still go after you.
Yes.
But it's a little different that way. But they do go after more. They do go after whites as well. They don't discriminate, but you'll see a white mass murderer and he will peacefully get away. They'll get him away and then go take him to Burger King, things like that. And that's what gets that's what gets all of our attentions and what we get. I almost feel like sometimes it's like a baiting that they want us to race war against each other. So let us think that they don't kill them. Let them think that we're fighting against them. And then we all fight each other. And then we're taking ourselves out. And they're one step ahead of us.
Yes. And not to disturb you, Miss Fox, our other co-host came in. I want to bring him in. This is Big Hank. How you doing, Big Hank?
What's
Big
going
Hank,
on, boy?
you got it. This is Miss Lynette Fox. She's the mother of Jesse Cedillo. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong name.
It's Cedillo. It's okay.
Cedillo. Okay, I'm sorry. You know us. I try to pronounce
Fine.
some other word, but her
And I'm
son. Yes,
cold,
ma'am.
so I'm kind of like a little under the weather, so I'm popping in cough drops so my voice don't get too bad.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I understand. She took the time out to talk about some of the, especially with the police brutality with black and browns. Her son was murdered March of 2020. That made national headlines. That he
Yeah.
was putting his hands up and he was shot instantly. Matter of
Wow.
fact, it came to me and I kind of put it in the same category of the little 12-year-old that was in Chicago playing out the recreational center.
It's the same exact thing. Adam Toledo. Yes.
Yes, and the man, the police just drove up. Then it seemed like you can speak over the speakerphones, like they've told me, pull over your, you know what I'm saying? I'm acting like I
Right.
didn't know they had to behind me. They're like, pull your car over. Why they say, hey, put your gun down if they think it's a gun? The
Right.
one in Chicago, he jumped out the car before the car could stop and was shooting.
Right.
Right.
First of all, my condolences to you, Miss Fox, and to
Yes,
your
ma'am.
family. Yeah, to
Yes,
your
They,
family.
yeah.
my son didn't shoot anybody. He allegedly, um, they allegedly have him on video going over, and the crazy thing about it is by the victims who said that she was carjacked, to all the descriptions given to the police from when they even had a video was that a kid with khaki pants and a black hoodie carjacked her, and she said specifically that the kid was left-handed, that he pointed the gun with the left hand. My son was completely right-handed, so much so that he had broke his right elbow. He had dislocated it when he was 10, and
Hmm.
he had a cast on for almost 3 months, and he couldn't even write. His teacher would write for him because his left hand was useless. So I know that was not my son, because if a left hand, he could not have pointed his left hand and tried to shoot somebody. They alleged that he tried to kidnap her, and her, by her own account, told me that did not happen. That the person who did that to her was actually very sweet. He didn't almost like he didn't even want to do it. But we actually found out that there was a group of kids that were stealing cars, and it was one of his friends, and that I'm not, he was a part of it, as he picked up the car to drive it to the last place. He did not do the carjacking. He picked up the car at a spot, jumped in it, drove it. The cops were chasing him, and that's how that happened. He did not have a gun. I saw that you had up the decision letter, right? Like parts of
Um,
the.
yeah. Did you want me to bring that back up? I was showing a
Yeah,
picture of your son.
you
This
if
is her
you
son, everyone.
that's my son Jesse. He had just turned 20. Now, if you look
I remember
at,
that
Uh-huh.
picture.
they're going to show you, and that's the officer who did it, and then turned around and called him a mother effer like 3 times, and then told the other guy, "Man, I knew you just took a human life."
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey,
Now, is this the part you was talking about, Miss Fox?
she froze up.
Yeah.
These people take human lives, and they don't even react like it's anything. They react like nothing. For my son, they hunted him down, they shot him dead, and they practically high-fived each other, said, "Good job, good shot, good shot, Jeff." Was
That's terrible.
one word.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
And
terrible.
then
I don't know why your phone is sticking, Miss Fox. Miss Fox, your phone. Your phone is sticking. It's been having some type of.
I 20 minutes. He could have died
Your
4
phone free.
hours later. We don't know.
Your phone is freezing, Miss Fox.
She might have to go out and come in.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring her back out. We have one of the other ladies. One of the big. She's an advocate. Been working a lot with the families. I seen she just came in. Um, this is Miss Candace Bailey, who was a lead advocate for Elijah McClain's case, and she's a justice fighter for women's rights and domestic violence. I want to bring her in. Um, let's add her too. How you doing, Miss Candace Bailey? It's a pleasure meeting you. Can you hear?
Hi,
Now,
thank you for having me. It's good
yes,
to see you.
and you know what? I thank you for taking your time to come on the show because myself, Roy Anthony, this is Big Hank, our co-host. Miss Uniqueness had some problems with her phone as well. Oh, yes, you noticed.
Hey, hi, Candace. What's happening, Candace? How you doing? I just want to get that in because he didn't let me introduce myself. How you doing, Miss Bailey?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good.
I was just about to let her do that. I was just doing the formal introduction. So, now, Miss Bailey is a major advocate for. Come on, to say advocate. Always corrects me because he's a USC major. And let me bring in Miss Uniqueness. She's back in.
Hi.
Now, our show, we have specialized in tackling subjects, Miss Bailey. And before we start, we like all our guests to give a testimony, give what you're fighting about, and where we're going in this future.
So, gosh, I don't feel like there's much that I'm not fighting for right now. So, I live in Colorado. I am a native of Denver. I grew up between Texas and Colorado. So there was always a huge difference between what was happening in Texas and what was happening in Colorado. So in Texas, it was very blatant. I just knew. My granny was like, you don't even go to that yard. You don't fool with them. And in Colorado, it's different because the white people are your friend, and then you learn about their racism at a time. Right. It is very different. It's not blatant. It's not in your face. It is very systemically inept. There's a lot of layers to it. And so you live more closely. We're a very small population here in Colorado. Black people are. And so we're forgotten about. We're left out of a lot of the conversations because we are few. We're not looked at. And we have one of the highest brutality rates in the nation. In the state of Colorado, we're getting hundreds of thousands of years in incarceration when our white counterparts will get less than probation, maybe a municipal ticket, maybe just a talking to. Our children are being set up from the gate, just like anywhere else. However, there hasn't been any light on the things that are happening here in Colorado. I think Elijah McClain's case was really a way that white America could connect to the way that it was murdering Black people. Elijah was more socially acceptable by white people because he played violins and he liked cats. And so I think that it gave middle white America a wake-up call because they could finally tie Hunter into what Elijah would be experiencing, right? So it was no longer a Black or white conversation. It was a conversation that white women could tie into and look at their children in the same manner because somehow they tried to say Elijah was autistic. Elijah was not autistic at all. I think that a lot of what happened is what continues to happen across our nation. We're seeing all of these narratives over videos. Like he's not going for a gun. He has no gun. He's struggling. He cannot breathe. There's 700 pounds on his back. You would be struggling too. All of the things that we are seeing are just public 2021, 2020, insert the date lynchings. And we're just not willing to get at the reality of what's occurring. I've been called radical quite a bit lately because I don't feel that it's appropriate for us to sit still and act like this is not happening. Our children are being murdered. Lynette's son was murdered by an officer as well. He was just an officer in the division of Department of Corrections, an officer nonetheless. And so I think that a lot of the highlight that needs to happen had to happen in the way that it has. And so I'm fighting a million different systems. I actually have lawsuits against the city of Aurora right now because they have a Jim Crow law that says that felons cannot run. I am a felon. I was previously incarcerated. I was in the penitentiary. I have lived a life, and as a Black woman, I can say this. I have always had to be 10 times better, work 10 times harder, and I will always have to redeem myself 10 times more than my white counterpart. Even if a white woman had gone to prison, she automatically is treated differently than I am. She has already paid her time. They've already overcome that. That's in their past. If you're in the skin that we happen to be in, we know that is not the case. You will be redeeming yourself until the day you are put in a grave. They continue to bury us, whether it be alive or we're actually dead. And so there's a million things that I'm out here fighting for. All of the things that they say they could never give us, that we watched a pandemic produce, are the things that we must keep our knee on their neck for. And justice is not outside of that. I think that people use that phrase justice very loosely and don't understand that we can't receive something for a life. So you cannot trade off something for a life. It doesn't quite work that way. Jesse Cedillo, we can never get Jesse's life back. There is never going to be a trade for what we think we may get. And so the things that we're fighting for really have not changed. We just watch slavery evolve, and we're just watching public lynchings happening currently. So we're not fighting against much other than what we've been fighting against.
Yep, exactly.
It's amazing to me. I've been listening a lot, and you heard what he said. That's Big Hank. He said unbelievable. But
real.
the subject,
I'm very impressed with Candace, man. She been through some of the same shit that me and you been through. I've been to the pen.
Exactly.
I remember when they arrested me, and I had my hands up, and they said, quit struggling, quit resisting. Motherfucker, I'm not resisting. I ain't that retarded, motherfucker. I'm not resisting. I know better than that. So I just wanted to say that I'm siding with you. Whatever you fighting for, I'm fighting with you, Candace. Let's go.
And Big Hank has a point, because I remember I'm working, I'm working for the city. I'm leaving Southgate, and I get stopped by two Latinos telling me that the string that's hanging from my rearview mirror is obstructing my vision. I got 3 foot of windshield to look through, but the string is obstructing my vision. So
that's all y'all got me for. That's all y'all can get me for. That right there.
So what I do is I got my license in my fingers, my hands out the window. They asked me to step out the car. I said, well, you get the door, because I ain't reaching for nothing. Get me out the door. They take my license, put it on the hood of the car, handcuffs on me to sit in the back of the car. I said, wait a minute, what you detaining me for? He said, well, we got to run your record. What you trying to say? Do you think that I would actually stop if I was the most notorious criminal? Do you think I'm but I'm stopping? So when he was putting the handcuffs on me, my hands is back. He keeps telling me, stop flexing your wrist. I can't even do 100 push-ups in a one moment, let alone
How you flex your wrist?
I'm flexing my wrist.
How you flex your wrist?
That's a dangerous weapon, Ray Anthony. Don't you know your wrist is a dangerous weapon, and that's what it can be characterized as.
So I'm like, man, what the world you want me to do?
If you move your wrist one more time, move your wrist one more time and see what the fuck happens.
That dangerous finger you got, you know, it's going down. His finger was going crazy. But think about that, though. Think about when you were incarcerated and the same things were happening. You heard this verbiage during your incarceration. You understand? They'd be like, stop struggling. Look, they got this so down packed. Everywhere you have been, you have heard this verbiage. And then let me tell you something. If you do get assaulted by a police officer, do you know you're automatically charged?
Yeah.
If you are assaulted by a police officer, you are automatically charged with a crime. The moment that happens, you must be charged with a crime. Period.
Sometimes, as a man, I done been like this. I'm a man just like he's a man. Go ahead, Big Hank. You want to say something?
Yeah. Listen, man. Now, I was in the wrong. I was running the dope house and all that shit, right? But what happened was the police set up a sting at my spot, okay? They arrested me somewhere else. When they arrested me somewhere else, they let me go back to my spot, right? When I get back to my spot, the police got it set up to where they running my spot. A couple of niggas asked me what I want. Do you need something? What you want? I'm like, no, don't, nigga, hold on. So as I'm headed to the back room, the police bust out another room with a ski mask on, telling me to lay down, get on the ground. So I knock his ass out, right? When I knock the police out, about 10 other police come from everywhere, right? So listen, peep the game. I can't get a job right now because I assaulted the chief of the police in San Bernardino. It's like worse than having a murder on my record because I went to Walmart wouldn't hire me. I went everywhere trying to get a job, man. Because of that assault on that police officer, I can't get no job, bro.
Right there. That was
They don't want no more. They don't want nobody working in that company that beat up police.
You had the right job though. Now he's the deacon of the church and stuff because I told him, you know, I was talking about when the police. Now I've been through, not with the dope houses, but I was considered a psychological robber. Never touch you or nothing, but I can look you in the eye, give me that money, and for some reason that was aggravated, right? But when they set me in the back of the car, this was here about 2 or 3 years ago, I'm sitting up there and I'm upset. They run my license. Everything is clear. The guy said, "Are you sure?" He runs my name again. Spelled it in W as in Wally. A as in, wait a minute, man. The lady said, he's clear. So, of course, I'm cussing now. They're going to ask my partner who's with me, co-worker, why is your man being an a-hole? Dude, you just stopped me for a shoestring blocking my vision driving through the streets of LA, man. But I admire because Miss Bailey, you seem like you are on a never-ending fight. What they say, justice. Sir. See, justice is supposed to be blind. If we was actually blind, the judges and all that, and tell the story without putting any type of description, it always reminds me of when they had this, I don't know if it's a parody or whatever, when they supposed to be the little white girl who stabbed the other little classmate in the cafeteria. She stabbed another little white girl, and the judge told her, "We're going to try you like you a black man." And had the sketch artist to actually show a big dude like Tyrone between two little white, for real. And it stuck in my head like he actually blatantly told them
that
we're going to measure you up. Now, I don't want to say all police are racist because there's some black police officers that's harder than the white police officers. Some of the ones in our neighborhood, look, line up in the alley and hit us in the stomach and stuff. And showing that they had control. To me, it's a control.
Police becomes they become their own gang, their own color. It's like the thin blue line. It doesn't matter what color because you could see Hispanic cops, you could see black cops, you could see white cops, and they're all the same. They're out for their brotherhood, and that is it. That's it.
But see, and I see what you're saying, Ms. Fox, because I say this. They say, oh, there's good cops, bad cops. I say,
Nope.
okay, the good cop has to be an accessory because you don't say nothing about the bad cop. Because if I do a crime and Big Hank is with me, whether
He's
look, that's
accessory.
from me and having a just me and him having affiliation in Los Angeles. If I did a crime on one side and they knew I was affiliated with him, they would arrest him on the other side of LA County just to say of a crime that I did. That's how they do it.
Well, I think that we're not addressing how policing started. Police began as slave catchers. That is what police started for. So how do we ever say they are here to protect and serve? Right? Let's get into that. Like, protect and serve who?
Go, Candace. Go, Candace.
White supremacy and to uphold white supremacy and to serve white supremacy. So I think you have to get that caption in there.
Yeah,
well,
and they still
there.
The KKK and the Klan. The KKK, the Klan and the my daughter Chance, the Klan and the KKK and the cops go hand in hand, and it's the truth, you know, they do.
Well, you know, and I always said this, like when a criminal, like you and I or anybody, if we committed a crime, I've never took an oath to uphold law.
Exactly.
Me and my partner,
but to uphold whose law? Wait a minute. I want to be clear. I feel like we jumping into some other things because we're upholding a white man's law. A law that said, I will leave the dictation and the taxation of the queen and be able to own human beings over here without paying the queen some money. That's all this really boils down to. How to come steal the land of the natives here.
Yeah,
but see, what I'm saying is, like, when the police do a crime, like the 3 police officers, 2, I'm not going to even counter the 2 ambulance, but for Mr. Elijah McClain's passing. My thing is that their time should be, okay, if me or Big Hank kill somebody, we're looking at 15 years, 5 years.
25 years. 25 years.
But we did not take.
Let's talk about where I'm in Colorado. Yeah. Baby, your black skin just got you about a 300-year sentence. You fooling around and killing a young white boy.
Well, I'm just saying, no, I'm just saying me killing another black. We might get an average of 25, 30 years. What I'm saying is,
not in Colorado.
I did not, what I'm just saying is, I'm going to look at time. Well, I'm not saying by time. I'm just saying is I'm going to get some time. But I didn't sign a contract to uphold law. I think that police that commits a crime should get 3 times of what a typical civilian would get because you upheld the law. You took an oath to uphold law.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's their profession.
To it, though. We need to take their generation.
I don't want to hear about they got fired.
Take their money and their children's money.
And
take their money and their if you are a surgeon, you have to carry liability insurance because you're dealing with people's lives. As a police officer, you are dealing with people's lives.
Right.
Contractors got to do the same thing. You got to get a bond.
That triples the amount that a surgeon would. Because guess what? You fool around and you take somebody's life or you harm somebody, that house you got, now little Junior ain't finna get it. Your wife ain't finna get nothing. That little police pension, take it away. Right. You get nothing, honey. You don't get nothing. Nothing. Now hit their pockets. Take away that generational wealth. Right. Little Billy ain't the Officer Billy in the future. He will have to struggle to get a high school education. Just you ain't black, you OJ, baby. And we better level that playing field. They ain't black, they OJ. They forgot white folks was putting white folks in institutions calling each other retards. Okay, let's get it clear. Now stop playing the game. Let's level the playing field. Take their money, hit them in the pocket, so their baby don't have nothing in their future. Just like our babies don't have nothing, because you don't get no penitentiary pension. So why you get a policeman pension? Bullshit. I call bullshit.
I completely.
And she and listen
with that fire.
And y'all right about that. And it would be that you would get 3 times the amount if it was somebody else. But since they made the rules, they ain't gonna get 8 people that shit. They made the fucking rules, man. So they not finna do that shit. But if it was us, I bet you we'd be getting 3 times as much and whoever else, man. But since they made the rules, they ain't finna do that shit to their own people, man.
Hey,
Yep.
I got one of our advisors. Miss Moore. She comes in and gives us some words. I'd like to bring her in. Miss Moore, you want to come in? Hey, how you doing, Miss Moore?
Hi, how y'all doing? Hold on, wait.
I'm doing fine. I, I
Well,
brought you in for a quick minute, so like to hear some of your advice. This is one of the she's working with a client. How you doing today, Miss Moore?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm blessed by the best.
You down there in
I'm
Mississippi,
just
right?
listening. I'm in
What's
the
up, Miss Moore?
Mississippi.
What's up, Miss Moore?
What's what's shaking? What's shaking? Yep. Trying to hold it tight
Everything
down in
gravy,
Miss.
baby.
Everything great. But
That's right.
just to piggyback off of y'all conversation, you know, we know, we all know, because we all black and we know where we stand. But
Right.
one thing I've learned
That's right.
on this road that I'm on, that I don't care how far we at the bottom. See, the reason why they want to kill us and throw us away is because the word says the last shall be first. And we moved up so fast. So when there's so many of us African Americans, I'm not going to get an end pass today, that we are moving up the ladder so fast, they can't take us. They tried to kill us with Corona. They tried to kill us with other stuff. They started trying to kill, but you can't kill what God has put in place. So you might as well to enjoy us, appreciate us, and respect us. And you that knocked out that police, my head goes off to you. You should have knocked him the hell out. He got just what he deserved. Because he was in the wrong place anyway. How you gonna come take over somebody else's stuff? You want your own stuff, go get your own spot.
Right.
Fella, whoever you was, but
She's talking about Miss
anyway,
Big Hank.
in that order.
She's Big
Big
Hank.
Hank, put them hands
Yeah.
on him, Big Hank. Put them hands on him. And bless him while you're
That's
hitting
what
it
I
in the
did. That's
name
what
of
I
Jesus.
did. That's what I
Bam.
did, mama.
That's it.
Oh, hey,
That's it.
That's what I
That's it.
did.
Miss Moore. That's what. Look, when I was
That's
a
it.
kid, my grandmother was the pastor of the church, right? So one day I was like 9 years old, and I had a fight with these guys, but shit, they had just had a sermon about turn the other cheek, and so I called myself not fighting, and the guy hit me in my other cheeks. So I'm confused. So I went to my grandmother's. I said, Nana, Nana, you said turn the other cheek, but what on your other cheek? She said, baby, that's when you ball your fist up in the name of Jesus and try to knock him out with the
Give
Holy
it to him.
Ghost. That's
That's
what
it.
Deacon Big
That's
Hank.
it. That's it. That's it.
Because
That's
if
it.
God is
But
for
you
you, who
know,
can be
with
against you?
That's what's up. That's
who
what's up.
can be against you? So it's sad that we can kill each other, but give us a few years, because I know right now in Mississippi they executed a young man. It's been about 7 years ago. Do you know right now, three of them guys they out back doing their thing, slanging their drugs, the whole 9 yards. But y'all executed this young man. But they better walk light, because I promise you, y'all don't know what day is coming. It's coming for y'all. And this man, mama was on the phone
Yeah.
pleading and beg for her son's life. So y'all, please don't kill him. Whatever you owe y'all, I get you. The man told her, you ain't got $10,000 in 10 minutes. He good as dead. And he told his mom, he said, Mama, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And they shot that guy 7 times. And they let their mama heard him kill her
Damn.
child. But believe you me, they gonna find each one of them stinking. They gonna find them. I don't do the eye for an eye, but to kill that woman's child and let her heard that every time I see him, not this part, not this. I said, bless them, Lord. Oh, so they coming. I ain't judging jury. Now sure ain't Judge Judy. But when the day come to them, they got to stand and give and count. They gonna see
Now
that
we,
again, but
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now we all
they
believe.
won't come out though.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
We all believe in God, and we believe that He tells us to forgive.
Exactly.
Miss Bailey, Miss Bailey, in your work, in your field of work, do you ever find it hard to forgive or not forgive? I mean, you see a lot of stuff because you out there in the front lines, which I admire you for that. But do you find it ever hard to forgive?
Mm. I think it's what I struggle with the most. I think that's the problem that I have, that people are like, she's angry. You damn right I'm angry. Everybody should be angry. Y'all are killing our babies. What do you mean? I do have a problem with forgiveness. You know, that is, I'm not at the turn the other cheek. I'm not there. I'm not her. I'm a different kind of warrior. I got my sword out, and if you put your head on the chopping block, you can be next. I'm not going to fight everybody behind me when there's a war at the gate. So I do have an issue with forgiveness. I feel as if you want to murder my child and for me to forgive you. And I just don't have that in me. I don't, Lord Jesus, yes. Allah, no matter whom you go and you pray to, I hope that you pray for me, light a candle for me, because I don't have it in my heart to sit in someone's face and forgive you, and you chop my child's head off. You sat on his neck until he could no longer have life in his body, and he wasn't doing nothing to you. I haven't found that forgiveness in my heart yet. I don't know what that looks like, and I hope that someday
yes,
you have the capacity to keep your hands in your pockets, and maybe I'll have the capacity to forgive you. I'm not sure quite yet.
You know, and I know a lot of us, but I know just spiritually with myself. Trust me, I was 8-9 on that turn the other cheek, because I be saying this all the time. You will see me marching, we should overcome, and getting help with bricks. Now, I'm not doing that. To me, if I keep doing that, that's insanity, because we're doing the same things over and over and we're expecting different results. I'm not into that. Then as a kid, you showed me Death Wish and Charles Bronson, and everybody can get revenge. You killed my... But these people can go... But I was having this argument. I'm going to say this again. Somebody was trying to argue with me about blacks killing blacks more than the police killed blacks. The thing is, Leroy kills John, they're investigating him. They got the shows called The First 48 Hours. They can tell and they deep investigated. But when these police kill somebody, they go home, get some chicken and rice, watch the old reruns of Dick Van Dyke, kiss their babies, go drink some beer. Just like this lady said, when they shot her son, they was high-fiving it like they had won an NBA game. Like, good shot. That's what you trained for. But I don't see the threat. Okay, wait, I want to bring this young man's picture up. This is Elijah McCain. Does he look like a threat? This young man does not look like a threat. He had on a mask because they said he was real sensitive. He played the violin at the cat shelters. They played the cat, but yet they found him to be a threat. And then the ambulance drivers give him tranquilizers that is for somebody that's 30 to 40 pounds bigger than he is. You're putting him in distress. Now, sometimes when I see this type of stuff, I'm going to tell you something.
Dang.
I know Big Hank remember this. You remember when those people robbed the bank in Hollywood? I never forget this. They knew that police presence was out. They had on armor, and they came out back at them police. Them police was diving left and right. Because to me, I kept looking at it, it's different when the rabbit has to go. Okay, Miss Moore, I know you going back to work.
Yeah.
And so God bless you and stuff, Miss Moore.
See you, Miss Moore.
She always comes in and give us a word of advice. She's she gonna keep it 100. But when the sad part is, we talked about this police brutality before cell phones came. Richard Pryor talked about it in his comedy. People been going through it. None of our neighbors believed it. And then Rodney King happens. They still don't believe it, because I've been studying this, y'all. I've been an advocate about the killings of innocent people by the police since Oscar Grant was handcuffed, laying on his stomach at the Fruitville station, and they shot him in the back of the head. They took the police officer and sent him down to LA to face court, and gave him 1 to 2 years. See, we a black murder another black, we're considered a savage and everything, even to our own. But when they kill it within the laws of what? And when someone tries to, how in the world can you phantom making an excuse? Oh, he wasn't cooperating. That's why I shot him. He wasn't doing this while I shot him. I've never understood when you have a bullhorn on your car, why come you pull up and you say, hey, you come towards us with your hands up in the air, drop anything in your hand, then you get out. You want a confrontation. You are hoping that the person is unarmed, because every time I seen people shooting back at the police, I ain't never seen them standing bold. All that training goes out the window. They supposed to stand there and try to up here. I seen them get shot at. Them jokers was diving faster than, for real.
Hey, look, I've been shot at. And let me tell you something. If you ever been shot, I done shot at people. I've been shot at. Baby, somebody peel a weapon. You ain't finna do none of this. Come on. We ain't silly. We ain't slow. And we ain't.
I got shot with a sawed-off shotgun. I got 6 holes in my back. And I didn't act like the way I thought I would act. I always said, if I got shot, I'd be screaming bloody murder. Whoop, whoop. But my partner took 4 in the face. And it was a horrific evening, but I wanted to get him to safety. I didn't even think about myself. It was all on the TV, breaking news, aspiring comedian shot on the freeway. You know, and it wasn't police officers in Los Angeles. Sometimes we got what we call the brown and black wars.
Yeah.
Because if we was ready to get together, go ahead, Big Hank, what were you just about to say?
No, I was just going. You've been shot. I've been shot 5 times, and I've been shot 3 times in the shoulders. That's because a nigga was trying to shoot me in the head, but I did like that. You know what I mean? The nigga tried to shoot me in the head, but ain't no training for getting shot. Ain't no such thing as, hey, this how you get shot, or this the way. Nigga, you trying to not get shot. Man, watch out. What the fuck is you doing?
It's easy to shoot the rabbit. It's easy to shoot the rabbit.
Yeah.
Because the rabbit don't have no gun.
Yeah.
Now, we got all these gun laws. I feel like, wait a minute, what side of the United States am I on? I got all these guns. But then they turn around and they tell me that my cell phone looked like it was a gun. Wait a minute, I keep reading. You can have guns. All my white neighbors love the guns. But we act like we reaching for a gun and we shot.
If you pull out a gun that look like that, I'm really finna run.
That's my
because it ain't no barrel that big, baby. I don't know what a bazooka. Hold your phone up like just in the manner that you did. That mug, hey, look, you pull out something that's this wide. No, I'm finna run. No, are you crazy? What? A gun. Come on. They don't even look the same. There's nothing about them that's the same. It's a game. It's the same game we have been playing for forever. It's the way that they justify murdering us. There's no such thing as black on black crime. Whoever you live next to is who you finna kill, okay? What is white on white crime? If you're surrounded by white people, you gonna kill white people. Right. You ain't talking about the white on the trailer park, are you? Yeah. No. How come we ain't talking about that? No. That's the straight toilet bowl of the universe. What?
Yeah. What was you gonna say, Miss Uniqueness? You've been taking it all in, and you down there in Mississippi. You okay? Miss Bailey's in Denver, Long Beach. I'm in visit Kansas City. What's your take, Miss Uniqueness?
Everything that's going on happens everywhere. You cannot escape it. And the excuse is black on black, white on white, police brutality. Why are you doing all these rioting and stuff like that when you're still killing each other? And then it's even worse now because we in the end of the time, everything is wicked. So nothing is going to be.
Yes, I'm with you.
Nothing's going to be the same, even with the children and the disrespect with the law and stuff. We don't know who to go to because the cops are their own gang, and then they take the drugs from the hood and then they resell it to the kids and have the kids out doing it.
But they brought the drugs.
They have the ones getting locked up, the ones that ain't got no drug record or history. the grown folks that's supposed to be a shadow for the children are out here putting the children out here in the game. And that's like, well, if you get caught, you do this time, we're gonna put this on your books. But hey, I got records over here. You know what I'm saying? So the kids don't know who to go to because you don't know who to trust. And all this
And but see,
killing,
you
like
know,
the
you,
killings and things that's going on, and these
yeah.
cops got these body cams and shit like that, which really don't mean nothing because they know what to hide and what to say. If they working for each other, they're gonna cover each other. I
It
don't.
doesn't matter. We
It
watch
don't
them
matter
kill
about none of
us.
that.
It don't matter. It's on video killing us. Look, they up here talking about this ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing new. It's just being recorded. We knew what was happening to us. We knew they was stringing us up by trees. It ain't new. It's just the new lynching.
Right,
Slavery has evolved. We just haven't. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
it's oppression. It's really economics. That's why I'm
And
saying
this,
we have to take their money,
yes.
get their
And you
pocket.
know what, Miss Bailey, I was listening, Miss Uniqueness, you had said something about, especially with the drugs, taking out the drugs and reselling it. They bring the drugs in the first place. And then I
Exactly.
always
They
say to
covered
this,
it up by us.
I seen
Our
unemployed
colors.
dudes, I seen unemployed fellas with an AR-15 with plenty of bullets. And I'm like, how in the world did you get that and you don't have a job? See, when the crack came in, which is like the Black Death, because we were starting to get a lot of unification and power. That's why the 70s blaxploitation movies to the 80s. Middle 80s, they dropped in this new residue drug. It spreads. In 86, it spread around the US like the COVID. It went to every neighborhood. They even tried to paint people's faces to who was the reason, like the Highway Rick Ross. They tried to paint between him and Oliver North and stuff like that, but they don't have that power to spread it across the U.S. Then I don't know nobody. I know some rich guys, but I ain't never seen them have a helicopter or a plane that they can fly to Nicaragua and come back, and then build a lab and then pass it out. Next you
It's
know, it's in the
fraudulent things,
ingredients.
though.
It's a menu. They teach you how to grow it or make it. Now we got these kids. Now, if you look at kids that was born from 86 to the fight on war on crime, which now involved to where you go to prison with misdemeanors. I remember happy if I got a misdemeanor, I ain't looking at no prison time. You going to prison now because you got private sanctioned prisons that request that they can have 80% of capacity. Your life is nothing but a number. They keep talking about hurting us, group hurting us. No, let me tell you, they started that. American hospitals are the first ones that started Social Security numbers and keeping your placenta and your umbilical cord. You never see them throw away. They have a DNA library.
That's
A
right.
lot of
That's
people don't know that.
That's right.
right. You can actually keep your own stuff,
Catholics, if you
but we
if
just
you
keep
go
them
to a
around.
Catholic hospital, you can't ask it at a regular junior hospital. That's a lot of blacks and Latinos will go to a Catholic hospital because they're a little bit more charitable with their giving. You go to American hospital, you're gonna see them put on the charge. Oh, we're gonna dispose of this. Yeah, they're going straight to that FBI closet and something say, hey, and they got to identify you because it used to be you didn't get a social security number until you got your first job. Now they give you a social security number when you were born. That's already hurting you. They already knew. They put them 4 digits in, and
And
automatically,
they
the
carry them. That's something go everywhere you go. They gonna know. So it ain't
Well,
like
our,
you can hide
our
them.
producer just hit me. Our head producer just said that this is what he's just sent to me. Military has DNA profile. They know who you are. That's why I always say I can't understand how these unknown murders get out without. I always think that it must be
I used to think some crazy stuff
over the
like
evidence. Who's
the
over
media
evidence?
and stuff like that takes over everything, and I think they function everything like all these different new editions that come out. I think they are monitored just to throw you off for them to do something else to cover up a lot of things that's going on. And then a lot of people they give themselves away. Like most of the young dope boys of these generation, they have all these cars with rims on it and living in a trailer house. You know, they give themselves away and they post things on social media. And I think that's why social media it was presented to help themselves by y'all telling everything that goes on. Well, I'm in the bathroom, I'm over here in the street. Well, my kids outside today. Hell, ain't nobody snitching on you because you telling them
You're
everything.
telling on yourself.
Yeah, but gets me is what you're saying though. But what about because I always have to tell people the media propagates us being all right. We make up 13.5% of this population. The violent crimes that happen within the blacks is only at 1.8 to 2.4% of that 13.5.
That's how you know the penitentiary is the new slavery. That's new. That's what slavery is, and that's what
Yes.
that is.
And you know
That's
what? I'm
it.
gonna bring it up. I said I was gonna bring it up probably next week. You know, I'm constantly been doing some researches on some stuff. There was two women. There was a white lady and a black lady. They both stole monies from their officials' standings in Ohio. The white
Mm-hmm.
lady sold over 275,000. They gave her probation,
Mm-hmm.
first time offense. The black lady stole $110,000. They gave her 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm. First offense.
First offense. I look at the lady who cheated to get their kids in college. That was a major scandal. That sounds like some racketeering.
Oh
You
yeah,
should be
yeah, yeah. They
measured
didn't
up
get
as a
shit.
mafia.
They
But
didn't
they
get
give
shit.
her 6 months, and she's crying
Yeah.
about it. They just gave this mother, a single mother of three, 5 years for switching her address so her kid can go to a better school. See, and
Man,
then people say, "Well, why you bring this up?" This happens to us, and I
all the
thank God
time.
all the
Shit,
time. Now,
all the
Woe
time.
Entertainment is we have my white neighbors, love them, white family members, all different races. But the thing is that okay, they basically military. I guess it was a military guy just shot, well, veteran, whatever, just shot 4 people down there in Florida, right? It was just, I haven't got to really read about it a lot, but I've seen some of the veterans state, oh man, that's sad. I think about them 12 people who was in church. Well, it was really 20 people in church, but 12. And the white guy walked in there shooting them. This lady, if you hear her story, how they put blood from their neighbors on them to make it seem like they was dead. That lady said she had her eyes open wide to make it really give the appearance that she's dead. Can you imagine?
Faking dead to stay alive.
Yeah, in the church.
Shit, come on, man. And then
Bible study.
when they arrested him, they took him to Burger King, gave him
Yeah,
some
Burger
hamburgers
King.
and shit.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
I
They
ain't
took her
never
to
went
Burger
to
King.
the bitch.
They did it with the boy out here that killed all the people in the theater too. He had his house rigged up with bombs and all kind of madness, and they did all kind of tap dancing with him. He went in a movie theater and killed all of them people. And here's a problem: if someone goes to defend our country and they come back and you're not willing to help them, that's more of us. That's more of us, period. Because
But
they're sending us to go fight wars against people who look just like us over oil, over wealth. It's really us fighting wars for white men's money, right?
But it really pissed what you just said, though.
Yeah.
What you just said, and because that ticked me off, though, when our veterans come back. Now, they're taught to train. I seen the one where the black, he just left the base. And these white officers is first they try to put him over on a dark road. Now he got his military stuff on, right? He tells them, "Hey man, you my brother, man. What you doing?" He said, "Get out that car, but you want to ride the lightning?" And they tased him 2 or 3 times in the car. This is a military guy. This dude ain't seen no military. But you feel like, hey, so he used his bravado and his power to take down this military guy, where this military guy looked like he's Dwayne Johnson. He could have just beat the man down. But now they ready to pay him. But I said I wouldn't blame that military guy to say, no, put me in the room with him for 5 minutes. I want my $1 million, but I want one round with him for 5 minutes. Let's see who's going to ride that lightning now.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying this. If it takes a lawyer 8 to 12 years to know the law, to pass a bar that's very, very, anybody just can't cross that bar, to know law. But you got a policeman who takes 4 to 6 months of training, like he's in combat as it is, to give him a gun and a badge and tell him to uphold that law. I've dealt with police officers. I said, what's stop me for, man? You don't even know your codes.
No.
You should have 2 years of a socialist arts degree with humanity and sociology before you go out there. Then when they tell me systematic racism don't exist in the courts, then why in the world is my jury members not within 5 miles of my address?
Right.
How you gonna pick somebody who don't know nothing? Hey, I don't need to be judged by people eating mayonnaise and stuff. Measure me up with the people who eat hot sauce, because that's how they neighborhood. Don't go way out the county to get somebody who's eating some escargot, some fake snails and all that. Just get these people who's eating barbecue ribs and everything like I do.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, not even just the jury, though. We don't have a judge that look like us. We don't have anybody who work in the city hall that look like us. And just because they do look like us don't mean they with us. All skin folk ain't kin folk. 90% of them is up in there getting that paycheck, and they whiter than the whitest whitey white in there. You understand me? They over here taking the check so that you don't get in either. So in Colorado, it's the same thing. Oh, I'm the first black girl. It's 15 of us. Of course you the first black. But how come you won't let nobody else black in the room with you? How come? Because
oh my God,
you're white as they are, so you'll carry out their racist shit worse than they will 9 times out of 10. Because guess what? You get to be the only black in the room. Stop it. Stop. Stop.
That's true.
Oh boy, you touching on something and stuff. Well, that's gonna be another subject for another day. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I tell people this all the time. There's no way King Arthur, I don't care, you can put this sword out the stone and all that, gonna come over to Africa to catch me. It was other Africans that caught Africans to turn them over to this slavery situation. We call them sellout to this day. I seen them.
Shut up.
Look here.
Shut up. Shut
I'm
up.
letting everybody know in California, Calvin Newsom is a good governor.
Gavin
He is
Newsom.
a very good Calvin Newsom, our governor.
Gavin. His name's
Gavin.
Gavin.
I call him Calvin, but I call him Newsom. He's a good. Well, guess what? As soon as he spoke up against some of the stuff that's going on, they wanted to get him out. But guess who they used to try to replace him? A black dude.
Elder.
Man, look here, man.
Elder whiter than the whites of the whites. That's what she was talking about. Elder whiter than the
Look here, man. Let me tell you something. I keep telling people, how do you control the masses of blacks? Either the church pastor or the prison yards. Because some of these church pastors, with that line and stuff like that they do, a lot of them got prosperous doing the dope game, if you ever peep that out. But, let me not. Because they said all sinners should pay tithes. You pay your tithes, the police might not catch you as soon. You know what I'm saying? But this subject was about, these are mothers, and Miss Candace Bailey. I didn't want to get off subject because we can expand on a whole bunch of stuff. But you have been seeing it front hand on the different disparities. And then when someone loses a life, who loses a life? What I'm telling you, okay, if that person is shooting back, if Elijah McCain and Jesse and all them were shooting back at the police and the police got them, cool. But some of these are blatant shots. 5 to the chest means that you wasn't under a threat. There's no way you can get 5 shots to your chest if someone's shooting back at you. There is no way. You didn't find him a threat. I seen the black officer in Cleveland chasing a young dude, a teenager. We brought him on the show, talked about him on the show. We didn't bring him on the show. We talked about him on our show. This young man is running from him. He's a big, fat, black dude. he tired of running, so he shoots the boy four times in the back. But then he's arrested, well, let off the force because he done let a woman out to jail because he likes her, and they stealing evidence from the evidence room. And this is a black cop who kills a young black because sometimes they kill themselves. I seen LA police take my boy Fred and take him through other neighborhoods to make it seem like he's snitching when he wasn't. They got him in the back seat, let the windows down. Which one? Let the back window down in the patrol car. Let it down so he can show his face, and then be pointing. They will point and stuff to make it seem like he's snitching. When they let him out, the homies came over to the way, and I was glad that they was wise enough to realize that the police was playing a dirty game.
Well, I think just like in Jesse's case, they shot Jesse in the back running through a yard. Jesse, and the man was an officer for the Department of Corrections here in Colorado, and he had other allegations against him. And so Jesse posed no threat. Jesse was a child, literally. I don't believe Jesse weighed more than 100.
We brought his. Because we're gonna go about 5 more minutes before we call the show. But I want to bring that up. What she just said. Here's a picture of This is Jesse. I want to bring this up again. This was the house that he was shot in. That was his mother that we had earlier, Big Hank. Let me bring this. This is a picture of Jesse right here.
So Jesse they were playing, him and some other kids in the neighborhood, they were actually playing. And so they were running through yards. You're a kid, you're playing, you're running through yards. I mean, just think about being a kid, You're not thinking about somebody coming out and murdering you. You're not thinking about that at all. I mean, look at that. Look at how small those yards are. You're playing, you know what I mean? Your friend chases you, you chase your friend, you run into that yard is small. Yes. That man shot him in the back.
Then say, hold up, who are you and all that? Because I seen them stop a guy with some guns, and they was like, and that guy pushed his arm off and shut the door, and he drove off. And they was looking at each other like, what do you think we should do? But that young dude, that brother that was out there in his car, remember him that they said they tried to drive over him?
Yeah.
Even while he was getting shot, he still tried to not hit nobody. And they lit him up like a gauntlet. I be saying the way we be having these shows, eventually, I'm end up having 3 dots on my chest eventually. I will come out.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Everybody who stands up, though, it's sad because last year I'm out here acting a fool. We had surrounded the police station we took the police station for 14 hours. We did a lot of things that people were just absolutely not ready for. And part of what I saw was that there's 10 of us standing up for those who won't stand up for themselves. They will continue to live in these conditions and then want me to get up and run for them when their child is murdered. But they wasn't out here at all when somebody else's child was murdered in our own backyard. And that's the realization that we have to get at. We're watching all of this violence within our community, but we ain't talking about the things that are killing us within our community. We're not talking about it. We know Ray giving the drugs and the guns to the kids. We know Uncle Johnny been touching on the girls all this time. We know all of these things. We will not address it within our own community. And here's my thing. I won't ask a white person to do what I'm not willing to do myself. So if I'm asking a white person not to kill me, I better be talking to my sisters and brothers because we're killing each other too. Don't get it twisted. You're a nasty uncle. He was touching on you too, but you gonna send your baby over there? Stop it.
Exactly.
Right. You know your baby out here acting a fool because why? You gave your baby a gun. Come on, we have to stop this madness like we're slow or something. We ain't slow. We know what's happening. We're encouraging our children in our community to do some of the things, or we don't talk about it. And black men, we need you to stand up against black men. We need that. Our sisters need that. We're so tired of that shit. Y'all won't stand up for us for shit. You know your homeboy be beating on his wife. That ain't my business.
Oh,
That
hey,
ain't my house.
hey, Candace.
But
Hey,
if it
Candace,
was
me and Big Hank,
you want
Hank,
to
yeah, me and Big Hank and some of our affiliates. No,
we don't
even
go for
our
none of
head,
that.
yeah,
yeah.
even our head
I don't want
producer.
y'all to
go
get
for
in
none of
each
Let me
that.
tell you
other's ear
something. First,
because it's the rot who are.
yeah,
It's
we
the
always
rot
let them
who
know.
are. And
I'm
black
not for,
women are tired.
yeah,
I wish
we're
I
not
had my
for
shirt on that
racists.
said protect black women because we
Oh, yeah.
need you to protect us.
Let me tell you
Period.
That's what
something.
I'm
A
about.
lot
I
of this
had a
shit
That's what I'm
wouldn't be
problem.
about.
happening. These white boys wouldn't be doing some of the shit they're doing if black men stood up for black women the way they should and quit jumping the fence and going fucking with white women too. My daddy
Oh,
was a white man. We could talk about it because we got to
yeah,
get into it, y'all.
yeah,
We
but
got to get into
hey,
it.
Miss Bailey, let me say this to you. Now, me and Big Hank, we are advocates for real strong men, not just for black
I'm a
men,
protector, man.
all
I'm a
men, but we
protector.
protect them.
I'm a protector.
And we tell you this all the time. I don't have no type of leniency for rapists or child molesters, for
I
one.
don't do none of that shit.
Second, her connection got off. She was so much on fire that she burnt the circuitry off her cell phone.
Yeah.
But we want people who's listening to know this, right? This, like our producer said, he said, "I'll bust a mofo head." That's what he just put on there. See,
That's
that's the
right.
thing about it. The media purports out the people who is irrational, whatever. Now, if you mess with my family, my mother, my kids, but look here, it's not going to be no understanding. Now, where our sisters say that black men won't protect, well, for one, there's 22 black women to each black male in the United States. That's the census. And then some of these
Wow.
guys don't join the neighborhood that really doesn't condone with them messing with women. They messing with other men. So that's in a different neighborhood. Then when they put us in a particular prison, that leaves a lot of our women vulnerable because there's only one good man to almost 40 black women. Some of the sisters have to go to outside the race and stuff because there is a shortage. Now, what we need to do is we have a coalition where these women can run to men. Sometimes these women who've been battered and domestic, that's what Miss not Lynette, but Miss Candace Bailey, she's also an advocate for domestic violence and abused women, just like you is, Miss Uniqueness. I know you have something that to help these women because sometimes women, which seems to be a lot, they run to the other women. Like, they had a saying about the baby would be mama's baby, daddy's maybe. But I've seen a lot of babies who's been getting murdered, their mamas, and guess how strong they got to be, to go through this. And if you don't have a shoulder to lean on, only thing you can do is go to another woman, I guess. I'm trying to figure out something, Big Hank. Do we need to group up to where the women have to be able to call us? Because
Man, what we got to do is you got to first of all you got to protect your own. Like you said, I got
Yep,
mama, I got daughters. You know what I
yep,
mean? And I got a wife. You know what I mean? So, but can't nobody whoop on none of my homegirls and I'm around. I ain't finna let none of that shit happen. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
don't care who it is. I'm not finna let it happen. Now I can't be everywhere. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't be everywhere, but I can be where I can be. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah,
gonna do what I can do, man. But ain't nobody finna. I'm not finna let nobody whoop on no lady in front of me. That's just not what's finna happen.
yeah.
I don't.
And
I
I
don't
haven't,
go for
yeah.
injustice.
And I haven't seen a lot. When I seen that, they sent me a lot of pictures. I've been getting a lot of stuff from across the U.S. and then the AP News has been sending me stuff now to my personal emails. What gets me though, she made a point about in Denver though. I haven't really seen the pictures of protests with a lot of black men. I see a lot of the black and brown women. I see a lot of the white men and white women, neighbors helping. I lie to you not, man. I rarely see the black men like us, our age or whatever, in Denver.
Oh, you mean in Denver, or you just said
Yes,
protesting? You
you
said
like
protesting
protest.
or in
Yeah,
Denver?
like in Denver. I'm talking about protesting in Denver.
Oh,
If you
okay,
see the
all right.
protest pictures, and that's what Miss Bailey was also harping about, because it seemed like the some of the black men and Latino men are stepping up, like
Well,
the white men that works along with the sisters and the Latino sisters and all that.
We
well,
got to
I'm
get
a,
her back, Roy. She got to come back. She got a
I'm,
lot to
I'm a,
say.
I'm gonna just say this, man. On my behalf, I'm not doing no whole lot of marching no more. I'm not doing no. When it's time to get in, I'm ready to get in, but I'm not doing no
Yes,
more marching and none
me.
of that shit.
I'm with you. I told you that's out the
I ain't
drain
doing,
with me.
I ain't doing no damn marching no more. I'm
That's
not
out the
marching no
drain.
more.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Hey, well, check this out, man. We ain't gonna hold it long. We're about to get off here. On Thursday, the 9th, we have Miss Woody, a professional comic that used to work back in the days with Cedric Entertainers. She is going for her name is Marcel Woodland, but they go by Miss Woody, and she has been working to break a world record for having um Richie actually got accepted. She wrote and addressed the Guinness Book of World Records to try to go for breaking the world record for the largest audience attendance for a comedy show. One guy
Oh,
in London had over, I think it was 70,000 people in the stadium. So she is trying to, she's there in St. Louis. She's going to be our guest Thursday. She's going to fill us in more on it. Right. It's very intriguing and interesting, too, man.
all
We're gonna
right.
get Miss Bailey to come back probably here in the next week or so. I would like to talk
Please,
with her
please,
because she's a big
yeah,
advocate. She's deep
yeah, please.
rooted just
She
like
on
you and
fire.
myself.
She
Oh yeah,
fired too. She on
yeah.
fire.
That's why them transistors on her cell phone sizzled up. When she was speaking that truth on them. Truth times fire, man.
They
Woo.
probably zapped her. Probably Zuckerberg and them probably
Mm,
zapped her.
I keep
Get her
telling
ass
you,
over there.
That
we're gonna
drone
have
thing
them.
down on her.
We're gonna have them 3 dots on your chest eventually. 3 on the chest and 1 to the head. But if we keep on doing what God tells us to do, because this is what we're
That's all
doing,
we
is
gonna
spreading
do.
the word.
That's all. That's all we could do.
You know, I've never seen so many people want to go to heaven, but they're scared to die and fight for justice and right. You know,
Right.
they
That's
said, pick
right.
up your cross. Guys, Jesus said, pick up your cross and follow me. As soon as the
Yes,
people
sir.
hear that, pia, pia, I'm dropping this cross.
Go. Go out of here. I didn't know it was gonna be all this. I didn't know it was gonna be
all
all
that,
this. Damn, I'm
all of
out of
that,
here.
all that. And man, you know what? It's
I'm
so
with you.
this is so healing to me, y'all. If you notice, I have been better and I've listened more.
You did real well today. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Yeah, you. I
Thank
had to
you.
jump. I only had to jump in 2 times today. That's all. Only had to jump in 2 times. You
You
let
was
me
talking
talk.
more than me for the first
I,
minute. I was so
Cause,
proud.
because you stop. When you stop, I know I got it's my turn to talk. So
You
when
better
you
go
stop,
real
I
Yeah,
go.
fast.
I listened. I've been listening. I've really been
Good.
practicing on myself. Even on the streets, I'm like, listen. Even if I
Good.
know it's BS is coming, I'll be like, man, because I don't have no patience with BS. But you know, but
Hey, I
anyway,
didn't get a
man,
chance. I didn't get a chance to say hi to Miss Uniqueness, man, over there, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I
she
just
got
want to
our
say what's
ratings
happening.
going up. Miss
Yes,
Uniqueness,
I
boy,
know.
everybody liking that, man. They loving Miss Uniqueness.
She
And
got her
so,
hoop ear.
wait a minute,
She got
wait a
her hoop
minute.
earrings. Her hoop
Yeah,
earrings matching
she
her
was putting
hair
them
and
on while the
everything.
show.
Them
She was putting
motherfuckers.
them on
She
while the
doing
show
it.
was on.
Thug is over
Wait a
there.
minute,
She doing it.
wait a minute, Big Hank. Last Thursday when you had got off, I said, "Well, Miss Uniqueness, what type of summation do you want to give out?" I caught her off guard. She was like, "Well, life is a box of chocolates." I don't watch it. I don't watch it 3 or 4 times on the big TV, man. I'll be crying, laughing. She's sharp on her feet.
Yes, she is.
Um,
Y'all can't
Yes,
catch
she
me
is.
slipping like that.
That part. That part.
before we go, our host said, "This is what I've been saying. You all didn't like it, but I'm always right." You see,
Tight but in the
here to
right. Yep.
elaborate. But anyway, y'all, man, God bless y'all, man. I'll see you Thursday
Bless you.
morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, Big Hank, God bless you, man.
God bless you too, man.
Kirsch, Miss Uniqueness, likewise, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to be where I'm working on something for all of us, and deeply so, especially with you, Big Hank, doing the comedy show. But we trying to involve it with Fleet DJs. That
Okay.
Fleet DJs is around the world, and it helps with music and the comedy.
Yes, sir.
And stuff. And I want to get that. I want to get more.
Division too, Big Hank.
Huh?
Gospel division as well.
Gospel division?
No, gospel.
Gospel.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He ain't doing
yes,
no
ma'am.
gospel though. You gonna play his music on the regular flotation.
No,
Pimps.
No. I got some gospel stuff out. And when I drop this PCH album, that's gonna be it. I ain't doing no more secular after that.
Oh, you
I'm
not?
going straight gospel. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going straight gospel.
I'm trying.
I'm with you on that.
If I sing a little bit, I'm gonna do something.
Well, see, PCH is
I'm coming to get you. Don't trip. I'm coming to get you, Miss Unique. I know you could blow. We gonna make it happen.
Oh, she can too. I was gonna go down there I'm
can.
gonna see her down there this weekend. I got to go down there and stuff and take care of some business. But hey, y'all, God bless.
All right,
It's
man.
been an honor, man. Love you much, bro.
Hey, both y'all, man, keep on living life like God is watching. That's what we gotta
that
do.
part. Yeah, that part. All right, man. I'm just bringing the time. I'm out. All right. God bless everybody. We out of here. See y'all.
Hey, is this thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey.
Want to say God bless to my family, my mother, my children, my friends, even to my enemies. There's nothing worth our losing our lives. That's serious. So God bless everyone, man. I'm outie. Peace out.
Tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The